Hello and welcome to the Seahawkers podcast. I'm Brandon Schultz and I am joined by a couple of my good buddies. We've got Clinton Bonner and Adam Emmert. Adam, you and I have talked recently, but the little flockers haven't seen it yet. We're going to be going with episode 504, Know Your Rivals, here pretty soon. But before we do that, we're out here Sunday night live and talking to Clinton Bonner.
Yes, we are. And it's fun to get on with Clinton because it's been a minute since him and I have even chatted. And you're right. We just put the Know Your Rivals Rams edition in the can yesterday. And look, if you don't want to listen to an hour and 45 minutes of that, I can sum it up for you real quick. It's F the Rams. And I think, Clinton, you would agree with the sentiment of that.
So I have adopted the phrase crybaby shit ass into my life. Like that's become a thing I now say because of you guys. And I say that in all sorts of settings on the East Coast. So it's just spreading. People, like when I say that, they love it. They spill out. They think it's the greatest thing of all time. Like, he's a crybaby shit ass. And I'm not even, it doesn't have to be McVay. I mean, it started with McVay, but now it's like it applies to anybody who is a crybaby shit ass like McVay.
I have a feeling that that's been adopted into the lexicon of many listeners. So I hope that you're happy spreading that around. I think you must be, Adam.
Hey, look, big shout out to my dad. That's where I got that one from. So he's had that one in the holster for years and years. That's been one of his favorites. So pretty cool. Big shout out to Lemonhawk here, 1990 member for 15 months. Dude, it's good to see you too, even if it's through text on the thing here. Like, that's pretty cool. Appreciate that. No doubt about it. I hope that you are safe from all the crazy ass wildfires there in Washington. I did reach out to Phil today. He is in that Spokane-ish area, and he's safe at the moment, and so good. But any of you being affected by that, stay safe. It's wild.
Yeah, definitely impacting a lot of Seahawks fans over there, and for the non-Seahawks fans too. Like we want everybody to be safe over there. So.
Do we want, if you're a Rams fan in Spokane, do we want your house to still be standing after this, or like that's too far?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Sometimes you gotta check.
We have to think about it for a minute, but yeah, it's we don't want homes burning down for even our biggest rivals.
Yeah. Correct. Okay. All right.
Correct. We are talking training camp and looking back. We're 1 week in, and that's pretty wild. We have. A practice coming up that's going to be open to the public here toward the end of the week. We're going to have Hard Knocks coming up this week that I'm sure we're going to be getting into. So got a lot of news and notes here from this past week, gentlemen. We've got Godzilla Hawk in with $10 saying you guys are a sight for sore eyes and butts. Almost home from a trip to Nashville for the weekend. Appreciate you checking in with the executive producer donation, Godzilla Hawk.
Heck awesome. Yeah. And I don't think, look, Mark, you're not allowed to go to Nashville without us. Like, last time I was in Nashville, you were there. How dare you go without giving us a heads up?
Yeah. What's up, Mark? Appreciate it a ton. Guys, we're a full week in. We are, like you said, Brandon, a full week in now, and the pads are back on, and the clickety clacks are back. The substation is doing its thing over across the bay, which is something still, which is amazing. There's gigantic movies in the theaters. The world at least America is abuzz with culture and fanfare, and football is really starting to permeate back. I see two heads nodding like, yes, right? It just feels, Adam, I don't know about you, the page has turned and my brain mentally was like, oh my gosh, like it's August 1, but we have football in literally 34 days now, real football.
Yeah, for real. Look, the three of us had talked throughout the offseason, and I know specifically for me and Brandon, and I know you two, maybe a lesser degree, Clinton, having a hard time getting like locked in during the offseason and like coming up with lists and stupid topics to talk about because I was just too busy basking in the glory of being current champions. And with training camp getting rolling and starting to hear a few of the reports come out that, again, take them with a grain of salt, but a lot of news you'd rather hear than things you would not want to hear, right, Brandon?
Yeah. Top 5 storylines so far. The Seahawks are still Super Bowl champions. Number 2, we're Super Bowl champs. Number 3, we're defending Super Bowl champs. 4, we're running it forward. And 5, we're going to win the Super Bowl. So I think that sums it up really nicely. Ryan 911 in with a $9.99 executive producer donation. I don't want to get too hype after 1 week of training camp, but I can't believe we have JSN, Horton, and Cup, the three greatest receivers in the history of NFL, on one team at the same time. The Tory Horton story is fascinating because we finally, after all this time, found out what his injury was. It wasn't shin splints. No, he had a broken freaking leg. He had a rod put in his leg in the offseason, and now it's super sturdy, and he's out and back in training camp, catching touchdown passes and doing his thing.
Well, guys, I could chime in because I saw Spider-Man last night. So I feel like when we talk about bionic men, I could weigh in heavily here and wisely. So look,
a receiver with web shooters would be very ideal.
Pretty good.
Spider-Man would be like the best
'em.
wide receiver.
Yeah, not who has the best hands in the history of the NFL? Like just pure best.
Jerry Rice,
hand.
probably.
Jerry Rice,
Steve Largent.
Steve
Like,
Largent, yeah. Like pure stick 'em, web sticky hands. That's an interesting debate for a different day. But Tory Horton was extraordinarily fast. And remember last year, we would kind of make fun of him a little bit because sometimes he would get ahead of himself and kind of like stumble like a gazelle, but then go for 82 yards anyway. Yeah, guys, if Adam, I know you're a big proponent of Tory Horton, and we love the dude as a second-year guy. It's like as a fourth wide receiver currently, like depth chart wise, a 4. Right, like we're chuckling about the embarrassment of riches there, but like where do you?
I think Adam's chuckling because you put him too low.
Well, look, Cup's supposed to be having a great offseason, and what we just paid Sheed. We know JSN's JSN, so where would you put him on this team anyway? Adam, I'll toss that to you.
All right, good. Well, I hope I'm back because you guys both froze on me there for a second. But so I don't know exactly what your question was, but what I can say is it's awesome having Tory back, and the idea that our wide receiver room has that kind of depth with him being, considered a backup at this point is outrageous. I mean, the amount of touchdowns on the few targets that he got last year going through week 9, like that just shows you just what type of player that he is. And if his leg is now like, $1 billion man strong, like exactly. we're in great shape at that position. In, I think not just the Horton story, but Arroyo, hearing about him in camp, hearing about Milrow having some nice days, hearing Sam is looking super sharp, Jadarian doing his thing, the offensive line having continuity. But I think the most important thing I've been hearing, and again, this doesn't mean anything, but again, it's one of the stories that you would like to hear rather than other ones. The offense kind of having its way with the defense.
Yeah, Mike had some interesting things to say about that because, there is that being allowed, or is that just what's been happening? One of the things happening in chat, we've got the Snail donating 5 Seahawkers podcast memberships. So big thanks to the Snail.
Thank you, dude.
Thanks coming in from the chat as well. Lemon Hawk 1990 with $5. Biggest 2026 storyline we will be back-to-back Super Bowl champs, calling it now, and hopefully living in Washington. Yeah, we hope you're joining the rest of the Seahawks fans here in Washington. And yeah, so there you ran through about I think our entire show, Adam.
Well, no, I gave the bullet points, I gave the outline, so now we can crank through them, man. I was setting you up. That's called being a professional.
Yeah. You've now we don't know exactly where to go next, but we'll go with one of those bullet points. And I guess the one bullet point you didn't put in there was our Seahawks defense. They have a new name. They are managers of violence.
I saw that on the thumbnail. So where that I love it. We were the MOB or the dark side, and now we're the MOV. Where'd it stem from, Brandon? Was it a particular
I think
player?
It was Byron Murphy. It was one of the guys, or maybe it was Leo, who was wearing a manager of violence t-shirt. Who was it?
Jaron Reed.
It was Jaron. Okay.
Manager of violence. I love that because what's not stated is that we could choose to be violent whenever we want to. We manage our violence. That's the whole implication there, which I love. And it does feel that way. And while we're talking about the defense, we joked about it in whatever Discord and some text threads. How about Madden 2026 ranking the Seahawks defense as 10th best in the game while misspelling the Seahawks, the name.
Oh God, I didn't even catch that.
I know.
Wow.
I didn't see it the first time either. They put it, well, the good news is they put a W like in the wrong place. But if you're going to put an extra letter inside Seahawks, Adam, it might as well be a W.
Might as well, because they'll be stacking more dubs this season for sure on their march back to running it forward and being back-to-back champs here. But the managers of violence thing is interesting.
It is good.
I love the turn of phrase. What I am curious about, though, are they like low level, mid level, or upper management of violence? That's what I really want to know.
I think we have managers at all levels, and they're also, while managing, they'll also be executing. So I think that. And I do like the phrase executing.
Wow.
With
yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Which one of us was military? I think you'll figure it out real quick. Yeah.
So managers of violence. I just think it's interesting that they're not just going to go with, oh, well, this worked for us last year. We were the MOB and the dark side. And so it's like they're coming up with other themes to go along with the defense this year, because one of the things that they talked about was not wanting, with there being some new players, new rookies, new guys coming to the team, they didn't want them to feel left out in some way, which it's kind of cool that they want to bring everybody along and have these new themes that everybody's involved with.
Yeah, I love all of that. I love nicknames, so I'm a sucker for all of those things too. Guys, one of the topics that I really wanted to chat about too, which seemingly might as well go to it now. Like, we talk about Horton and we bring up Arroyo, and Josh Duhamel brought up the halfbacks, running backs, everything else getting more involved in the pass game. The more and more I see all these highlights, and I realize pads are on now, but it's still practice, whatever. But all of these beautiful catches, Horton on the sideline, Arroyo down the seam, Jadarian Price over his shoulder, all these things. And everybody's like going gaga over the pass catchers, which I love. But Brandon, the part I think I love the most is that it doesn't matter which dude is spinning the ball. It could be Drew Lock, it could be Milrow, it could be Darnold. These are dots. And these are like back shoulder. These are things these are not like, oh, a 2-yard horizontal toss out to chubby Debo Samuels, who's going to get tackled for a loss for 3. These are in rhythm, in like just like seemingly like the system is kind of getting even more matured and more locked in. And that part excites me, Brandon. I feel like our QBs, the room, might have actually gotten better after a championship season.
Lisa in chat, whistle jacket saying Clinton getting tweaked about Arroyo. I love it. Yeah.
About the passes, Arroyo's been playing good, but the passes to those dudes,
right? Again,
they seem to be a little bit even level up crisper than they were halfway through the year last year, which is great.
No, if we have 3 quarterbacks that can all sling it, and the receivers are doing well, I am excited about the offense, and especially with the offense being kind of the part that was in question going into the offseason with the new offensive coordinator. I like the idea of being hyped up, especially if maybe we're going to be featuring tight ends a little bit more, especially since hopefully we have some capable tight ends. I know AJ Barner's capable. The pass catching capability beyond that, if Arroyo can fit into that, even better. Although we just talked about how deep we are at wide receiver. If we're 6 deep at pass catchers and still focused on running the ball, we're hopefully gonna have some balance, right, Adam?
Well, the cool part about all of that, these are the problems you want to have.
Mm-hmm.
You have all of this talent that you can now incorporate into the offense. And it does present a challenge, no doubt, for somebody like Brian Fleury, first-time play caller, in that how am I going to incorporate all these guys? Where is that balance in terms of not just running to pass ratios, but also formationally? Like, how often are we going to be out there in 12 personnel like the Seahawks were last year, where I believe they were in the top 5 at the very least, running 12 personnel last year. They even ran some 13 personnel after Sean McVay invented it. And so that was cool. So, what's going to be most effective for this team when it comes to the passing game? Is it going to be a lot more, 12, 13 personnel with more tight ends, maybe more 11 personnel with 3 receiver sets, or are we going to see a lot more 2-back stuff? And I saw Robbie Utes mentioned in the comments here from Cope Approach here just a minute ago. There's a cool video by Legion of 12s that they put out the other day. He does some nice film analysis stuff, kind of a newer channel, or at least it was new to me. And he was talking about the way the Niners use check in dash motion is what he calls it. And basically it's kind of that sprint motion of the fullback who is lined up on the line. And there's a bunch of different things they can do out of that. And how effective that was for the Niners last year, it could make Utes a valuable part of this too. So how do you balance that? Hell, if I know, that's why I'm not the offensive coordinator, but man alive, it is awesome to hear that the offense has been progressing and getting the best of the best defense in football throughout training camp, or at least these first few days. Brandon, you had mentioned, is that being allowed, or is it that the defense? Do you think that Spoon and Ernest Jones and Byron Murphy allow anything when they're out there?
I suppose not. So I haven't seen the video that you're talking about with the sprint motion with the fullback. Is that something? Because one of the things that we've seen from Kyle Shanahan is that he's always effective at vacating the middle, seemingly to where he's getting wide receivers open over the middle for kind of easy completions for Brock Purdy. Is it that sprint out, drawing them one of the linebackers kind of out of the box, so that way there's one fewer defender that you really have to worry about, and that kind of makes some of those throws a little bit easier?
Yeah, I think that could be an option. I think the focus of the video was more on how it impacts the run game. So there wasn't a lot of insight into that part of it. But think of it in terms of how much they do use check out in patterns, right? As he's gotten older, he's been a lot less effective of that. But, Utes has that sort of ability with his tight end background. But I think more so what you'd see from the running back position that would help the passing game is that insert motion stuff that they do with McCaffrey a lot, and how many ways that they get him the ball. And I think it's pretty evident that that's something that they're going to try to do, or at least get the running backs involved in the passing game, with as much as we're seeing them get the ball out in the passing game to Jadarian early, just to see how that all works out and see if that could be a big part of their offense. And that could very well influence the linebackers to void maybe some more space, especially in the middle.
Yeah, Cope Approach in chat saying, heard the dash motion plays led to CMC's biggest runs, opened up a lot of runs for him. And speaking of running backs too, that was one of the things in my notes, is just kind of looking at this running back battle, and Jadarian Price getting a lot of time with the ones, and maybe with the expectations that you'll see Price then on first and second down, and see Holani as more of the third down running back, being that he's so well praised in his blitz pickup and wanting him in the backfield in the passing game primarily. So if that works out, if we're seeing Price on first and second down to start week 1, then I think that means good things for this offense, because I think when you draft a guy in the first round, that's the expectation, is that's going to be the guy to be ready. And if they're combining that then with some of the fullback motions and able to get Price some space, I could be very excited about the Seahawks offense, Clint.
Yeah, you took it where I wanted to go, because I want to talk running back. And I just wonder, we just said we're 34 or so days out from actual kickoff, like September, whatever, it's like right around there, something like that. Maybe I'm off by a week, whatever. But we're hovering in, and you see the one-on-one drills, and you see Jadarian doing his best, but not quite there yet. But that's okay. He's like 7 days into his NFL venture. But then you watch Holani do his thing, and it's like, dude, he legitimately seals up every single time. Doesn't matter if it's like a defensive tackle or he's going one-on-one versus a linebacker. It's like, dude, he's got, it's like, like Bruce Wayne in Gotham. It's locked down, dudes. So I just wonder, week 1, week 2, week 3, if Holani is the clear best, best guy to protect Sam, does he get the starting nod saying, we have enough juice? We just talked about 6-7 dudes we could throw the ball to Adam. So is it more like, hey, you know what? Let Holani start, and let the rookie marinate a bit more? How do you think it shakes out?
I guess it all depends on how the coaches feel about Jadarian's progression throughout training camp here. Because I listened to Price talk a little bit in an interview yesterday. He spoke specifically on the pass protection side and really felt like he was making massive strides and felt like things were getting a lot easier and a lot better for him. You know, this is one of those things about the running back position that I think people wring their hands about like far too much. The pass pro part of it. Is it important? Yes. Does a guy need to learn how to do it? Yes. Is it the same as learning the rhythm and paths of outside zone and, you know, where your cutback lanes are? Hell no, it's not even close, right? Like, so the idea, like everybody worrying about, well, who's going to be the third down pass protector and like all that, one of the guys, and they'll be good enough at it and it'll be fine. Like, I just don't find myself thinking or worrying about third down pass pro from the back all that often. Like,
I get that. I get that. But I guess what I'm challenging or asking about is, do we think Holani will win, like be RB1 because he's seemingly safer right now, you know, and he's a good back himself, like, and be on the field first and second down, potentially, not just third down.
I think kind of the way that Brandon put it, like Holani being the third down back, that makes sense. I think this is going to be Price as your starter in terms of taking the primary amount of carries and being featured in the run game and early downs. He's just too talented. And I like George Holani a lot.
Sure.
But I mean, compare the two players, especially coming out of college. George Holani's a good player. Price is better. Like, there's more talent there. There's a reason why he gets drafted in the first round and Holani goes undrafted. It's pretty obvious. So I think this is going to be Price's job to lose when it's all said and done in terms of volume of carries early on.
Josh Dehuman in chat saying, let people sleep on Holani. He'll make them pay. Holani/Price/Wilson/Sharp is going to make the league pay. Pound that rock as Oots and Russell pave the way for them. And Cope Approach talking about some of the depth as well at wide receiver. Emmanuel Henderson Jr. having a good camp. I want him on the main roster if we carry a 6th wide receiver. This is a good note. A good note for everybody who is watching training camp. You're going to fall in love with. You're going to have a training camp crush.
Yep.
And it's going to be hard when they don't make the team. I'm not saying Emmanuel Henderson Jr. is going to be that guy, but he could be that guy. So I just want to prepare you and everybody that we're going to see these guys. They're going to ball out in preseason and then realize that 6th wide receiver is probably pass catcher number 9 on this roster.
And gunner number 2.
Right. That's where you're going to win and get a roster spot. And 2 things is we also get Hard Knocks. We mentioned that earlier, which starts in 2 days. So we get that to fall in love even deeper and even quicker, because we'll get to see real personalities, which we don't normally get a look into that deeply. And the other side is too, like Henderson right now, I think is 7, right? Because Bobo and White, I think, are 5, 6. Put them whatever order you care about.
Bobo's been out though. I think he's dealing with an injury, but I think that's
he just got paid, so it's not like he's.
I'm not worried about Bobo. It's just that I think that's what's allowed Henderson to kind of step up a little bit.
It's a ridiculously deep wide receiver core, and talk about the Seahawks being slept on and all that stuff, and part of it's like it's true because it's the 5th best team in power rankings and 10th best defense. Like, okay, I guess. I mean, I think we won the Super Bowl and beat the Rams, twice down the stretch, but okay. But the wide receiver group, yes, we have the stub with JSN and you have the veteran with Cup, but it is very, very, I think, deep and talented. Like, there are teams out there, like let's look at the 49ers, who lose Pearsall and wish him luck, but dude can't stay healthy. He sucks. But they lose Pearsall and they go get 30-year-old Debo, who's the horizontal king at this point. He's fine, but they're not deep. They're not deep at all. And I'm not cheering or hoping for any sort of injury, but the ability to sustain injury and then have dudes right behind that I think are starters in other organizations. We have the linebacking core, our wide receiver core. Adam, for me, are 2 spots where I'm like, damn, we're pretty deep. We could take, the old He-Man, the body armor He-Man. We takes a couple of chinks in his armor. I don't want them, but it's football. It happens. I think we're really deep in those spots, particularly.
Clinton, I wish you could have seen Adam's reaction when you called Debo fine, because he made this face like you were still overrating Debo Samuel.
Oh yeah, I said fine. I didn't say good, Adam. I didn't say good. I said
no, but fine was like too much for Adam. He was like, really? Is he fine?
Yeah, I mean that face was. Are we sure? like, because I equivocate fine and good as like kind of one next to the other. I would say that he's a roster spot. Like that's where he is in his career right now. When Brandon and I recorded Rams preview yesterday, I asked Brandon a question. I'll ask you the same, Clinton. How many plays do you remember of Debo Samuel in Washington last year?
No, there was like a couple early. He had a couple touchdowns early.
Oh, even one?
But plays, I don't. I don't remember him like bouncing around like a ping pong ball like he did as an early 49er, like super tough to tackle. No, that was not it. Or being like super dynamic after the catch. No, it's just no. They'd scheme him open, throw the ball really short. He would stumble for a few yards, and the next play would happen. That's it. That's what I saw.
Yeah, he's closer to washed than he is fine. That's where I'd put him at this point.
Yeah. Washed seems appropriate. Whistle Jacket in chat saying can't wait to see the Minotaur's hot pants up close on Hard Knocks.
Ooh.
Yeah. Lisa was at training camp recently, and I feel like all she did was text me pictures of Derek in his pants. So
I love how you say that like you weren't enjoying it. Like I think you.
Lisa knows what I like. What did I say?
Can only pinch in on the phone so much, Brandon. Like, geez, get a little closer.
Derek
get a better zoom.
Pants shots, more please. What else are you guys looking for on Hard Knocks? Because one of the things, Adam, I've been pounding the table wondering about when this Devon Witherspoon deal is going to happen. I feel like it should have happened by now. I want it to happen. Why hasn't he been signed yet? And I finally I've come up with some hopium that I think will explain it all away for me. And that is that they're waiting for the episode to air where Devon Witherspoon is signing his contract with the Seahawks so he can break the news that he's back with the Seahawks on Hard Knocks.
Well, being somebody who's never watched an episode of Hard Knocks in my entire life, not one, is that something that they would do? Like, is that like even in range?
No, I haven't watched a lot either, but
yeah,
that's just what I want to happen.
I hear you, but we talked about this a bit yesterday as well. But like, what % chance in your heart, Brandon? Because I didn't ask it like this to you, that you feel Devon Witherspoon does not get re-signed by the Seahawks?
Oh, it's going to happen. And if
so it's 0%, right?
0%.
Okay, then don't worry about the timing, bro. Like, it doesn't matter to you. Devon Witherspoon's gonna get his money. He's gonna be on the team. He's gonna be an F the play up kind of guy. He's gonna be a heartbeat guy for this team. Like, dude, stop worrying about it.
This is like Christmas. When do you want it to be Christmas? I want it to be now. I want to open my presents now. I don't want to wait.
But the thing is we already have Spoon. You don't have to worry about it. The present's already here.
Like Denzel got his money, right? Denzel Ward got paid again, became the highest paid corner in the game, and Gonzo's still not paid, right? So it could just be a jousting / chicken game, some sort of medieval chicken jousting game, of course, and with the same agents on both of the sides, just literally playing it as best they possibly can to get the most amount of money from two different franchises with what will be the two highest paid cornerbacks in the history. Whoever that agent is, that is the dude. He's in the pole position. Whoever that guy
CAA is winning with those two players.
I mean, like, it's again, I always, when Abe was going to sign, people were like, he's not going to sign. When Derek Hall was, hey, it'd be really cool for he's not going to sign. And I always try and remind people, like, these are young men who have a chance to go make, like, in Spoon's case, 90 million, 100 million guaranteed by a stroke of a pen. They're going to do it because they're smart humans and they play a violent sport. Even though we're managers of violence, boys, it's a violent sport. They're going to sign and they're going to make money with their money. These are smart people. So, it'll happen, but Brandon, I'm also with you. I want my cake and I want it now. I want Spoon locked up with a big ribbon, Griswold style for us, Brandon.
All right. Well, the next, other than Derek Hall in his hot pants, I will put shadow boxing with Derek Hall on there, because apparently we've heard of this idea that the defense, they do these shadow boxing things. I actually want to see it, and it sounds like it's something that they're going to feature on Hard Knocks, and we hopefully get to see Derek Hall and Riley Mills. Because I have an idea of what I think it is. I want to see it in action.
Well, you're not going to see it because they do it in the shadows, so you can't see it. That's the entire point.
That's what that means.
You don't even know what it is.
They did this during the run up to the Super Bowl. They did some shadow boxing on the stage, and it was like, I think it was Leo or somebody else. And yeah, I see it, I understand it, but the whole thing is like, you got to kind of like trust the other dude that, you know, they got to make a move like while you're making a move, and you can't make the move before you make the move. It's a little bit. I don't love shadow boxing, guys. I think I know what it is, and I'm not the biggest. I think it's too manipulatable. I'm not a fan. Now, chess, on the other hand, I think that's why Bobo and Drake Thomas have a legit chess rivalry going. Now, that's a real game of wit and strategy. I love a game of chess.
So my theory of exactly what shadow boxing is, or at least in the context of the way the Seahawks doing it, is just a manly way to say play fight. That's it. Like, there's play fighting, right?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Good enough.
Basically it.
Yeah. I think a storyline that intrigues me a lot more than guys punching air is the idea of Byron Murphy in his continued ascension, in just kind of what you're hearing out of camp, in the way things are going for him. Look, it does seem as if he is on the trajectory to, not someday, like this year, be the best defensive tackle in football, in what that would mean to leveling up this defense another level, especially when you've got Riley Mills, who sounds like he's having a hell of a training camp right beside him as well, along with all of the other studs that we know that we have. So I think that's something that excites me in a way that I can't wait to see.
Yeah, if you listen to Gray Zabel, it sounds like he's already tired of going up against Byron Murphy every day and having to deal with his talent, and not that he's tired of it. It's just Gray is one of the coolest dudes to listen to talk in the press conferences, and I enjoyed that. I also saw CBS Sports has Byron Murphy ranked number 6 among interior defensive linemen, just a couple spots behind Leonard Williams, which it seems low for both those guys, but having 2 interior defenders in the top 10 is pretty strong. So yeah, I'm with you, Adam. I want to see me some Byron Murphy there on Hard Knocks as well.
Yeah, it's going to be it's year 3. And it's not like, oh, it's year 3 and we have to wait to see what he becomes. We saw it. We saw, his sophomore year 2, he became an absolute monster. He was very good in year 1. Sometimes you had to like go, under the covers a bit to be like, oh, was he really successful there? Oh yeah, he's getting double teamed. He's on one knee, taking on 2 dudes, and Ernest Jones is able to get a tackle for 1 yard because he's doing his job. He was more pronounced last year, and it seems natural that in year 3, guys, he might take that step forward again. And you look at like Brandon, I wonder who was ranked above. You said Leo, and I'm assuming Jalen Carter is also in that top 5 for sure. Also, the other dudes who were there with Murphy 6. I don't know that there's a better defensive, like how many more better defensive tackles are there? Like who else is on that list if you happen to have it up?
Vea?
I don't think Vea he was on the bottom end. It was the interior defender from the Titans. I think he was number 1. And then
Jeffrey Simmons. Yeah,
Jeffrey Simmons was
he's a
one.
monster.
He's very good. Yeah. He's been good for a long time.
And then the other interior defender from the Eagles, I think, was somewhere in the top 10. I don't have it memorized, so I got you. I knew where our Seahawks were.
I know it's all subjective. I understand all that,
and I knew who was number 1.
Yeah,
Dexter Lawrence has to be in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's probably up there as well. It's ascension. It's also like his surrounding. Adam, you were hinting at it, right, with Riley Mills and Leo and Lawrence and Nwosu, and it is a very powerhouse line. This to me, and it's one of those things where Byron Murphy has not gotten the fanfare, not nearly the fanfare Jalen Carter's gotten, in terms of like Pro Bowls and All Pros and all that stuff. And it seems to me that, Adam, this would be the year that it's like the league wide after a Super Bowl opens up and goes, oh my God, this guy is an absolute, he's the next DT, like the best one in the league for the next, whatever, 6 years after this year. It seems he's right on that kind of cusp of like absolute stardom in the middle of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to start to be talked about in Aaron Donald type conversations here, beginning this year and then certainly into year 4. But really what I've noticed in terms of the talk, you know, around the media is that the guys that are kind of general sports guys, like they'll talk about Jalen Carter and talk about how great that guy is who takes plays off and is, you know, kind of a knucklehead. And they really don't understand what's happening with Byron Murphy. But then when you listen to guys who are NFL centric, right? Like the Pelisseros of the world and, you know, guys of that ilk, they already hold Byron Murphy up there. And yeah, I think this is the year that he truly breaks out. And listen to his goals for this year, you know, double-digit sacks. He wants to be all pro, like not at the expense of the team or anything. Like those things will take care of themselves if he just does his job, no doubt about it. But he knows like on the inside, he's like, I've got that ability in me. And man, to me personally, as a football fan, there is nothing more exciting than having super duper stars in the middle of your trenches, right? And that's exactly what Byron Murphy is. And I've seen Rick in the chat here talking about the offensive line. And I think this is probably the other biggest story of camp, to be honest, is just the continuity there in how much they're improving. Listen to Leo Williams talk about the way the offensive line has been playing so far in training camp. And you get a sense of just how important it is that these 5 dudes are back together again.
Yeah, it's really exciting that the offensive line is back together, going up against this defensive line, going to make them sharper as well. Josh DeHuman in chat saying the Hawks had interest in both Crosby and Clowney. Makes me wonder if Mike is wondering if the younger pass rushers need more time to develop. I'll be watching the young pass rushers on Saturday. Yeah, looking forward to hearing your report coming out of that, Josh.
Yeah.
I think we're going to try and have you on the show. One news development with regard to Clowney, though, he is going back to Houston. So I know there was some interest among Seahawks fans that maybe an addition there. I feel like we're set, guys. Like Fowler Jr. is out there, and we have a lot of depth. I don't know if I see us signing anybody else unless there's some kind of injury that would require you to go out and make an addition.
I just feel most NFL people are still so gaga over the idea that you have to have your 15 sack guy. Not that Clowney is that, or really ever was that. But he got to double digits with Mike, right? And had his best seasons. But people are still so centric on this idea that you have to have a Myles Garrett to win Super Bowls. But Myles Garrett's never won a Super Bowl. And now he's in the Rams, and he's not going to win one this year either, I don't think. But Brandon, to your point, like we got our starting 4, but then we got a good 5, a good 6, and there's dudes like a Jamie Sheriff who just gets accolades. Like, hey, if there was a clearer path, he might be a pretty disruptive edge guy on other teams. So I think Clowney's a pretty good player. In NFL, he's just like you put him in, it's like, you know what you're getting with Clowney. He's solid. I get it. But I'm also okay with it. I'm also okay with the idea that our 5s and our 6s are going to get a bit more because we didn't bring in Clowney. And I'm confident in the depth there. I'd like to see those dudes who are year 2, year 3 guys get a few more chances. If that comes at the, the deficit of not having Clowney, for me, Brandon, it's like, so be it. I'm okay. I'm fine.
Okay, so we've talked about the depth on the defensive line. We've talked about the offensive line depth as well, especially the continuity. And there's some intriguing battles, I think, at depth there too. But one place where I look at some of the practice reports and I have some concerns about depth, it's a cornerback, because we have Devon Witherspoon, we have Josh Jobe, and then I see that with Julian Neal sidelined dealing with some minor injuries, it sounds like, but Nehemiah Pritchett leading the cornerback 3 battle, and if he's going to be taking the similar number of snaps that Rick Woolen left behind, is that going to be a concern? Is it going to be a problem?
Well, ask you a quick question here, Brandon. If Mike McDonald has Pritchett as leading the third quarterback battle, do you think he's probably right about that or wrong?
Well,
I
have a lot of trust for Mike.
Okay.
I guess where I then try and slot it in my mind too, because especially Nicky Manwari out with injury, and I think that the expectation that he'll be back week 1, but Mike doesn't want to talk about the fact that he might be back on week 1 because he just doesn't want to give up that information. I do think that if Pritchett were somehow to be a problem, then I think based on what we're hearing out of camp is that, we probably see some Bell in there, maybe filling in, because apparently DeAnthony Bell having a good camp. And so maybe you just see more Spoon outside along with Job outside, and you have other guys in the middle kind of taking over. Maybe Bud Clark, you start seeing him play a little bit more too, and taking on some additional roles. So they have a lot of depth, I think, within the secondary, just maybe not at the corner spot.
Well, also too, we've been hearing out of camp that Dansby's been having a nice camp. And then one of the other later like undrafted guys or something like that has been playing fairly well also. And there's always that kind of surprise guy from the bottom of the roster, and you need a path to be that surprise guy, right? And that's one of the few positions on the team that there's a legitimate path to being an impact player. So if you do have Pritchett concerns, that's fine. I mean, I thought he did okay when he came in and played a little bit last year. And as you mentioned, Bell playing the Eamon Warrior role, and then having the extra depth there with Okada and Bud Clark to be able to move them around a little bit, maybe do some 3 safety stuff. I think there's a lot of ways that a extremely creative coach and is just scratching the surface of his prime can figure out how to work around one semi deficiency, if it even becomes that.
I think from my take is, Brandon, I think you're laying out a fair point, right? Like, hey, we're talking about how deep this team is pretty much across the board. It's a very deep roster. There's not many teams that roll out 53 like this, or the ready squad to 70. There's just not. They do not exist in the current form of the NFL. We're very lucky in that way. And I think you're right that is by far not just the thinnest, but it's got the chances of like it's also corner, where like those dudes can get exposed in a game. Look back at the Tampa game last year. The Tampa game, a couple dudes go down when we had Reek and others. And Baker, I mean, yes, Baker was as hot as could be at that time. MVP Baker at that point, and Ibuka going crazy. But we lose a couple of dudes, and we were exposed on that day. We take a late lead, and they march right down the field and score again. It was just like a sieve, right? So I feel you, because it's not only just the, hey, it is a little thinner there, but it's a position in the NFL where when you play good quarterbacks with at least pretty good offensive coordinators, or very good ones, they can take advantage of that. And compared to last year, in my estimation, I think we play a litany of better quarterbacks than we did last year. Just in general, it's a step or two, maybe a step and a half up of consistently better quarterbacks we're probably going to face, barring injury. So Brandon, I'm a little bit more towards you on this one, than I'm a little bit like, I don't love it. I don't love that piece yet.
Yeah, well, I also remember Brandon last year wringing his hands endlessly about the linebacker core and how there was no depth there. How'd that turn out?
You make it sound like that was just me.
Well, it's amongst us, anyways. Like, there may have been other 12s out there that had similar concerns.
Well,
That's fine.
I'm a Drake Thomas truther guy, so it wasn't.
We know it wasn't.
Yeah. So I feel like having huge
good. If it's
about,
on me then to worry about where we have the least depth, and linebacker was where it was last year, and it turned out we were awesome at linebacker, then
yeah, okay.
Then I hope that we're equally as awesome at corner then, and Nehemiah Pritchett comes in and is even better than Reek Woolen.
Well, all we have to go off of is track record, right? And look at what Mike had done last year, even like bringing in Kendrick for a while and having him play at a high level.
Sure. And Benogany is another guy that they have as a depth piece too that they brought in, and I guess I even trust a veteran. Maybe it's just my bias toward Nehemiah Pritchett from what I've seen in the past, and maybe he comes out and he's done a lot of work this offseason, and he has earned that number 3 role. It's just it's hard for me because I need to see these things.
Well, also too, like, what's the sample size for Pritchett on the field?
Not much.
Yeah. Like, 0 conclusions made. Like, that's the way I look at it.
I've made some conclusions based on what
I hear it. Yeah.
Well, year 1 when he was on was bad, right? It was bad. Year 2 when he was on was markedly better. And I think Brandon's point is like, but was it, hey, you're an NFL starter or a cornerback 3, which gets a lot of play time in a Seahawks defense a lot of times.
The snail in chat. I think we have the least depth at punter. When you have an Aussie punter, you don't need depth. That's just, yeah.
Yeah, Aussies don't get hurt. They're indestructible.
Knock on all the wood with that one. One other piece of the punter. Hey, when we trash Madden for their stupid defensive take, they did put Dixon as the number 1 punter in the game of Madden. So hey, that
doesn't make up for it.
I agree, but they got something right at least. I agree. They still got to get punished for their stupid defense take.
Yeah, that's literally one of the worst takes I've heard this entire offseason.
Dude, they have the Lions above them.
They have the fucking Niners in front of us. Like, wait, they lost their DC, like a good DC, brought in a delightfully mid DC to replace them. And we all know what happens to the Niners defense when they don't have Saleh. Like, it's not nearly as good. They're bringing back ancient Nick Bosa on his 5th ACL or 10th ACL, whatever it is. Fred Warner blew up his entire lower body, and he's going to be Fred Warner again for sure. Okay, you bring back Dre Greenlaw, who the Broncos couldn't wait to get rid of, and you have a lesser defensive coordinator. You're still relying on a bunch of young dudes, and they're better than this defense that literally was the engine that drove the Seahawks to winning their 2nd championship. What fucking crack are they smoking in Madden? That's what I want to know.
That's a very good question. And one of those questions that I think will go unanswered. Shane Turner Acoustic checking in at $2.99 Australian. Morning legends. Nice to wake up to you guys. Yeah, appreciate you waking up and tuning into us, Shane. And
awesome.
If there's one thing that they could address on Hard Knocks, it would be I want to see all the defenders asked about, because they already seem to have a chip on their shoulder about the stupid Rams. If they can add to the chip on the shoulder, but with Madden rankings, that probably matters to a lot of those guys even more.
I mean, they grew up like these are footballers who grew up playing football, who grew up playing Madden. I think it actually does matter. Like they get the fizz, as Adam would say, like when they get their 99 rankings or they're ranked below somebody. So as a unit, put it on the billboard, guys. I think it actually might be a little bit billboard material out there because they're competitors, man. It's just funny. It's when you see a little bit of disrespect once or twice and you brush it off, whatever, who cares? We won. But as the season, the off season just rolls on, and the next thing comes out, and then you get who was the NFL analyst, Bucky Brooks. Do I have that right?
And I love Bucky.
Yeah, usually really good. Has him at like 7-10, and then other analysts. Well, let's not forget Sam Darnold turns, and I understand that. We all understand Sam turned the ball over a bit last year, or a good amount last year, but it's just this. It's like this consistent drumming. But Adam, I think you said it earlier, dude. It's like. It's those, we cover the entire NFL and we're, like a T-shaped. We don't go an inch further down than the soil. We don't go deep on these teams. So we have to have hot takes across 32 teams. So this is the hot take this year that Seattle really wasn't that good. Although they won 14 freaking games, went 3-0, had no turnovers in the playoffs. The only team to ever do that. And they beat the Rams twice down the stretch, once in the NFC Championship game. But let's ignore all of that and let's just go an inch down and say they really weren't that good. But meanwhile, Brandon, the Niners, they're so back because they're seemingly maybe healthy after major knee injuries. It's getting to me, as you guys can see. I'm usually kind of like, let this roll like water. This is kind of getting to me, but I'm kind of liking it. I don't know about you guys. I'm kind of like starting to absorb and be like, F you. Like, I can't wait to show you again that we're going to demoralize teams again. And I like that.
we ignored list season for a while in the off season, but now list season in the preseason, it's getting to us.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm legit pissed. Like I'm literally, I probably take this more personal than the
Adam
players
has never
do.
played a single snap of Madden, and he's the most upset about this.
Untrue. I played the Madden where Sean Alexander was on the cover for a while.
Yeah, 2006 Madden. That was 20 years ago, buddy.
I didn't say it was recent. You said not one snap, and that was slander, and I will not have it. But what's interesting, Clinton, is you're like, hey, these guys, these kind of general sports casters, and go 1 inch down, right, and cover a 10,000 acre pond that's an inch deep. And it's like, well, okay, if that's the case, then why isn't the narrative from those guys? Seahawks won the Super Bowl. They're really good. They're the team to beat.
Good question.
Because that's like the inch deep take, right? Like if you're just gonna be like, if I'm just covering the league and that sort of thing, like that's the lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah. Well, they are just fine disrespecting us as Seahawks fans. They know that they do that all the time, so we're used to it. So they can have their hot takes that way. It makes it easier.
It's lazy.
What's a microtransaction? Is that like half a player?
This is how Madden makes their money. They put out a generic game every year. They don't make many upgrades, but they downgrade it by making you pay actual money to upgrade your players throughout the game. and people do it, I think, somehow.
Look, all I know is that in 20 years, when the economy's completely busted and everything, the tombstone will read, "Here lies the U.S. economy. Everybody was subscribed to death." Like, from all of our fucking subscriptions. And, like, here's another one. You got a microtransactions in Madden to, like, throw a virtual football? Like, what are we doing?
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the show, by the way, while we're on that topic. With a fork in chat saying 2006 Madden, what was that, a board game?
It was actually chiseled out on stone. Like, it was pretty good. Yeah.
Ryan 911 saying it's almost like there's a conspiracy. Has anyone heard from Hawk Van Dyke? I've actually heard from Hawk Van Dyke. I'm going to see him in a couple weeks when I'm over in Paris. But we may need to get his take. I'll be live and in person. I'll have to get his take on if there's some kind of conspiracy going on right now with the Seahawks. Rick Darcy in chat saying better point differential than 2013 LOB, who is number 3 this century. 2 Hawks team with the best point differential ever. Hawks are awesome. Yeah, that was one of the things that surprised me with Warren Sharp and his, because he looked at all of the actual analytics from last year, and he's nerdy that way. Yeah. And it's one of the best DVOA teams in the history of the NFL, and yet he's saying that we aren't going to make the playoffs. And those are the ones that I really don't understand. For guys who are analyzing the league and just want to have a take, that's one thing. But for the guys that get into the numbers, where do you get the if you're basing it off of predictions and the likelihood and all these, whatever they use, how does that not show that we're going to be back and equally as good this year?
Look, I am not one to be like, oh, look, we're going to go 15-2 this year, go 14-3 again, because that is very, very hard. Now, a lot can get in your way from that kind of a great season. But to predict we're not going to make the playoffs, like, a lot has to go really, really wrong for this team to not be a playoff team. And that stuff, I don't even want to put into the ether type stuff. It's like that kind of level of wrong for this team to not be a playoff team. It's just,
they have to move the substation from San Francisco up to Seattle.
Flurry has to be a disaster, legitimately. And we can't run the football. I'm not going to talk injuries. If we cannot run the football and Flurry is an absolute abject disaster, yes, we would be on the threshold of not making the playoffs. That's literally where this is, because if the defense is mainly healthy and they just do Mike McDonald things and Imwari is healthy, this team's going to win a number of games that puts you in position to I don't know, guys. I'm not saying cruising to the playoffs. It's hard, but I hate that take. That take is maddening to me. It's just, what are you watching? Like, what stats, what last year or 2 or 3 of evidence do you have that this team's not like a playoff caliber? That's
That's wild.
It's crazy.
Well, look, too, you kind of laid it out right there. You look at a Mike McDonald defense when he's had them for more than half a season, right? Both his first half season with the Ravens and with the Seahawks, it took a minute, right?
Yeah, yes.
And then after that, what happened? Excellence.
They were freaking awesome.
Right? Excellence, right? So I feel like these Warren Sharp types look at this and they have this unbelievable over evaluation of Boye Mafe, Kobe Bryant, and Reek Woolen. They act like we lost Leo Williams, Spoon, and Ernest Jones.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, no. And not only that, but like those guys, like I like all of those humans as human beings, right? So I'm not trying to disparage them in this way. They're Super Bowl champions. They brought another Super Bowl to my life. I don't want to like put it in terms that sounds like I'm ungrateful, but Boye Mafe is unbelievably overrated by a lot of the national media. They act like he was our primary twitchy edge defender, and there was no other pressure that came from anybody else. They act like Kobe Bryant is the second coming of Ronnie Lott, and they act like Reek Woolen's a lockdown corner that doesn't have gigantic mental farts like every other game. Like it's crazy to think about. So
that allowed the Rams to get back into it in the championship game.
Yes.
Right. So like if those are the three pieces that you're replacing, I feel like 99.8% confident Mike McDonald can figure that out and make it happen, right? And have another excellent squad. And then the other question that they'll bring up is the Fleury question, and that's fair. Fleury is a question mark, but how big of a question mark? Like if we're playing the what's more likely game, I feel like the most likely floor for Brian Fleury is a delightfully average offense. And the reason it's different than say somebody like Ryan Grubb is Ryan Grubb had zero NFL experience. Ryan Grubb didn't know how to run the football. Ryan Grubb wanted to spread you out. Ryan Grubb was just a college moron. And like, that's not who Brian Fleury is. Yeah. A lot of people had a ton of questions about Clint Kubiak when he came in, and he only had basically a season and a half of play calling experience. It's not like he had been around the league for 15 years and he was so damn good. We won the Super Bowl and now he's the head coach of the Raiders. Like, I think the floor for Brian Fleury is not a disaster. Like you said, that would have to be what would happen, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's so improbable. It's hard to even wrap your head around. Now, what's the probability that he'll be excellent? That's unknown. That's where the question mark is. And that's okay. It's okay to have questions about it, but to act like that there's a viable path to him being a disaster, as Warren Sharp does, or some of these other guys that are kind of baking in this regression, is foolhardy. Like, I just don't understand where it comes from.
Yeah. And maybe it comes from that idea of Clint improved so much over Ryan Grubb that it's just it's the easy analysis of, well, if he improved that much from Ryan Grubb, it could regress then back to where it was before. And that's where that floor comes from, which is not a legitimate floor.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think that there's a fault. I think we got around it real nicely, guys. I think the narrative is
we solved it. Good job.
But if there's a false floor that's not actually the floor. And I think that's the laziness and the narrative that's out there. But I'm excited to prove them all wrong. It's going to be very fun, to prove them wrong again. And I just think I'm highly confident this year that our floor, I think, is a very solid playoff team. That's the floor. And I think that's a really good place to be. I think every single team in the NFL will be like, that's cool. I'll sign for that right now. I think that's our floor, guys.
Yeah. I mean, of the NFC teams, you'd have to say we're a top 2 to 3 team in terms of what position you are in going into this season.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy that a lot of people write it off as if it's like, since the Rams signed Myles Garrett, then Seahawks regressed by 7 games this year.
Right. Yeah.
Like what? It just doesn't make any
complete zero sum nonsense. Like, they signed him, therefore you got this much worse. That's not how it works. That's just not how it works. Like, we could also still get better. Like, maybe sure, Myles Garrett, hey, he's a hell of a player. We're not stupid. We get it. But that doesn't mean, like, he wasn't on our team, guys. We didn't lose Myles Garrett,
Right.
We lost Mafe, but we bring in Fowler. Like you mentioned Mafe earlier, and you mentioned Kobe, you mentioned Reek. And in my head, I went, it's $55 million a year for those three dudes right now. And I think we did fine. I think we did maybe even better than fine to just replenish those guys because, like you had said, it's not Leo, it's not Byron, it's not Ernest, it's not Julian Love. Nice players, but not core. And you know, the Rams getting Myles Garrett does not make the Seahawks worse. If anything, we're gonna be more fired up than ever. And you know, like you guys have covered, Charles Cross might just be taking care of Myles Garrett, and that'll be sweet to watch.
Yeah. And again, if you guys didn't see that video that we did, looking back at Charles Cross, when we played the Browns the last time, I think it was 2 years ago now. Turns out Charles Cross can block Myles Garrett, like because he's an elite tackle, and he's only gotten better since then. But you know, whatever, fact schmacks. So at the end of the day, Clinton, I'd want to ask you: Do you feel like it's more likely that we go 1-2 against the Rams, or we sweep the Rams? Because we were a field goal away from sweeping the Rams last year.
Okay, so I like this because 1-2, you know, or 3-0. We're saying we're playing them in the playoffs. Like that's the math, right? It's like we're playing them in the playoffs at that point. So I'm sure as shit not picking 1-2. Like, I'm just not going to do that. I don't think we'll go 0-2.
1-2 is just fine as long as we
win the right one. No, I hear you. What's more likely, man?
Cope approach in chat is taking option number 3 and going 2-1.
Yeah. I like Cope approaches. That's probably what it is. Look, it was a 60-yard field goal where if we got a couple more yards at Myers, we win that game too. And we stunk that game on offense. That was Darnold's turd burger, right? So, you know what? 3-0. It's more likely we sweep them, Adam. It's more likely we sweep them.
I genuinely believe it is too. I mean, when you think about how Sam Darnold progressed against Shula, throughout the season, and like it's the evidence is right in front of you. It's on film. All you have to do is look. Like Darnold ascended last year against his number one bugaboo in the Rams defense. Well, that tells you a lot right there. Also, too, Albert Breer, I think, has done an excellent job of trying to remind everybody throughout the nation that it's not like this is an old-ass team. Like, a lot of the stars on this team are still ascending. I mean, that's why we had the whole conversation about Byron Murphy just a minute ago. Do you think Spoons hit his ceiling? I don't know. I don't think so. Do you think Eamon Warriors hit his ceiling? No. I don't even believe Leo Williams has hit his ceiling.
Well, that's a take. I like that, Brandon. I like a little Benjamin Button for Leo potentially.
That
Brandon.
would be great if he hasn't hit his ceiling.
Here would be the argument. So as far as Leo Williams, have you seen any physical fall off in his play? Physical, no. And so, what makes you better as a player when you've reached your peak physical ability? The mentals,
right?
And he's a smart dude. He's engaged. He talks about. In his interview the other day, his father-in-law is literally Ronnie Lott, and he's like, "Well, what do I do? You know, what's the best piece of advice?" He asked about training camp years ago about how to approach it, and Ronnie Lott said, "Treat every year as if you're a rookie." And he's like, "So that's what I'm doing. I'm here to learn. I'm here to get better, and all that." Like, there is a world in which Leo Williams does get better this next year. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility at all.
Well,
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon, I love Adam's what's more likely game, right? Let's play this for a second. Leo has his best year as an NFLer, which he's had some all-pro years, but he has his best year, or he has a serious, again, barring injury, a serious fall off, or he pumps out his best year. Which one's more likely?
That he has his worst year or his best year?
Not his worst year. Like he has a serious fall off. Like he starts to have like, he's getting old, and you can see it now.
He's not having a fall off. Yeah.
Right.
That's very unlikely to happen. So I think it is more likely that he's good, and I'm here for it. Lemonhawk 1990 in with a $5 super chat. You didn't know Garrett and Donald each games just with them being on the field. Suddenly, only 14 games exist, and the other 3 games are auto wins for LA.
Yeah, that's how they want to treat it, the NFL, right? So it's guys, I'm just getting more. I mean, the Niners are funny and good. They'll get healthy, but they're still funny. We still kick the crap out of them when it mattered most, twice, and all the love is going to the Rams. Like, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be so much fun to like just upset it again. Be like, oh, sorry, NFL, you don't get the Rams at SoFi for the Super Bowl on Valentine's Day. Sorry.
Well, we are looking for a very Merry Christmas as we get to take on the Rams for the first time. We've got that game circled on our calendar, even though it's months and months away. But I'm looking forward to everything that happens in between as we maybe get to that game. And Adam, it doesn't even matter because as folks are going to hear, they're going to hear our preview of the LA Rams coming up in episode 504. Look for that probably tomorrow night. And we're going to be talking Rams, Seahawks, and, well, mostly Rams because it's our Know Your Rival series. And anything you want to say to preview that before we get on out of here, Adam?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting discussions to be had because I know we're all sick of listening to people talk about the Rams, and that's because they all just give Sean McVay a blowjob like every time they talk about the Rams at this point. We took a different approach because we're 12s, and I actually had a great job. I'm glad that got you, Clinton. I think we did an excellent job of bringing a counterpoint argument to this off-season, on-paper Super Bowl championship anointment that has been proclaimed for the Los Angeles Rams. So I think it's worth listening to. I had fun doing it. Brandon had some dread going into it, but I think I turned you around by the end.
I've had enough Rams talk for the offseason, so I'm glad we got to close the book on them for at least the next 4 months or so.
You know what's going to be awesome is by the end of the season when we close the book on this era of Rams football forever. Like,
there you go. Yeah, we've done it with the Niners. Now we got to do it with the Rams.
100%.
Yep. Josh DeHuman coming in with one final super chat, 199. Agree with Adam. Fleury at worst, top 15. Best, top 10. Best, I mean, top 3. We're gonna see that from him. So looking forward to that. A big thanks to everyone who joined us. The chat was on fire tonight. Yes. So really appreciate everybody who tuned in live. Lemonhawk 1990, a member for 15 months. Got Zero Hawk in with $10. Ryan 911. We had the Snail gifting memberships as well. Lemonhawk came back in. We saw Shane Turner Acoustic.
Nice.
And Josh DeHuman. So a big thanks. And man, oh man, it's going to be a fun preseason, and yeah, we'll probably be back live maybe Tuesday night after we watch some Hard Knocks, maybe, guys.
What time? Yeah, I'm in. Sure. What time's the show though? Like 8 or 9?
You're probably going to have to take a nap to be there live for it.
Well, there is coffee. I like coffee.
There you go. Well, I'll be in. It'll be my first time ever watching an episode of Hard Knocks. So
probably for a lot of us.
Yeah. Nice. So live reaction to Hard Knocks. Let's book it.
Yeah, people seem to be excited about it.
It'll be fun. It's a reason to get together and talk Seahawks. And it is the time of year, guys. It is August 1st or 2nd. I'm not sure. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's August. So that means we have football right here, right with us around the bend. I'm excited, boys. This is going to be one heck of this next 30-day sprint to get ready. Oh man, I'm fully in. I'm just like, let's go. I'm ready to rock. I'm just in. This is it.
Go. And I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.